Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we will be looking at Hurricane Ernesto as well as our severe weather and the tropical outlooks on the eastern Pacific as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, here is Hurricane Ernesto currently, and its tropical storm wind field will be in this orange to yellow color, and then that hurricane wind field will be in that reddish color. But let's go ahead and take a look at this on Zoom Earth. So here is our satellite view currently of Ernesto, and it's only a Category 1 currently, but this is expected to strengthen into a pretty high Category 2 hurricane. But it is not expected to make it to major hurricane status as it had been yesterday. But this is supposed to make it to a 100 mile per hour Category 2 hurricane around 8 p.m. Tonight. And then it is supposed to make it to a 110 mile per hour Category 2 around 8 a.m. on Friday. And then it is supposed to weaken back down to a 100 mile per hour Category 2 hurricane as it passes by Bermuda. And then it will maintain Category 1 strength as it makes it all the way up near Newfoundland, and then it will weaken down to a 70 mile per hour post-tropical cyclone. But if this does make impacts to Newfoundland, this will be a Category 1 hurricane still, but then it is expected to move on out and weaken and not really affect anyone for the rest of its lifespan. But this red color here that surrounds Bermuda, that does indicate hurricane warning. So we do have hurricane warnings up now for Bermuda. But this is only supposed to be a Category 2. Still couldn't rule out it being a Category 3 hurricane, possibly though. So next, let's take a look at our severe weather today. So we have a slight risk of severe weather that extends all the way down from Oklahoma City up to Chicago. And this is a slight risk. And there is a 2% tornado risk that does include Milwaukee, Chicago, and this does go all the way down almost to Evansville, Kentucky. And then this stretches almost to Kansas City, and then almost all the way up to Des Moines, Iowa. But there's a 15% wind risk and then a 15% hail risk as well. And then there's also two other marginal risks, one in portions of New England and then another one in portions of Idaho and Montana. Both of those have a 5% wind risk, and then the one in New England has a 5% hail risk. So next is the Day 2 severe weather outlook. There is a marginal risk that extends all the way from portions of Colorado down to portions of Alabama and Georgia. And then this does go all the way up to the border of the United States and Canada. And there is less than a 2% tornado risk, but we still cannot rule out a tornado or two. And then a 5% wind risk, and then a 5% hail risk as well. And then last but not least, the Day 3 severe weather outlook, there is also a marginal risk that extends all the way from portions of Mississippi up to the United States and Canadian border once again. And this stretches all the way down to Columbus, Georgia, and this does go all the way to Watertown, New York. And this is just a 5% risk of severe weather as of now, but we will watch for a possible upgrade. And then let's take a look at the Eastern Pacific and the tropics. So we have two disturbances here. One closer to Mexico. This has a 50% chance to develop into a tropical depression or tropical storm in the next 7 days. And then one in the Central Pacific, going kind of towards Hawaii. This actually has a 60% chance to develop into a tropical depression or tropical storm in the next 7 days. But this also has a 30% chance to develop into a named storm or a tropical depression in the next 48 hours. So with that, one more look at Ernesto. This is a 85 mile per hour Category 1 hurricane with a pressure of 975 millibars. And this is moving north at 14 miles an hour. So let's take one more look at the cone here. It is supposed to once again make a very close pass to Bermuda and then head up into portions near Newfoundland, and then eventually start to weaken out. So with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.